Welcome back, everybody, to another wonderful episode of the Any Given Day podcast. I'm Zach. That's Hunter. We got a lot to get to. Obviously, we've missed a couple things, had some stuff come up, so we're just going to hop right into it today. Hunter, go ahead.
We're gonna start off talking with some legalese kind of stuff. So a few of the things that we've missed so far is some lawsuits. The NCAA trying to go and set a cap limit on roster spots, and obviously everyone's favorite subject, the new college football video game. Let's go. And I guess this is the part where we go and cut in the intro and all the epic music and stuff like that. But no, starting off with a bit more serious news. So Shiloh Sanders is technically already lost the lawsuit, right? But so go figure. One of the Sanders boys has been sued, but he's declaring for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Now, some of you may be asking, there was a lawsuit? Yes, apparently back when he was in high school, back when he was 15. So I think, if I remember correctly, it was 2015. He went and got into an altercation with a security guard over in Texas at a high school. There was differing accounts on what happened. Shiloh claimed that the guard came up to him for no reason, escalated the situation, grabbed him hard enough on the arm to leave marks, all because he was on his cell phone. The security guard, I can't remember his first name, his last name's Darjean, is claiming that while he did go up to him about the cell phone, there was school policy, school rule, no cell phones. Past a certain point. Sanders is claiming he was on the phone with his mother. Darjean is just like, I don't know what he's claiming wise, but he was saying that while he did go up to him about that, he did not escalate the situation, and in fact, he did not grab him or leave bruises on him. In fact, Darjean went and filed a civil lawsuit against him for causing him neurological and physical damage. So there's that. And it was for around $11.89 million. Not around, it was $11.89 million. But apparently the lawyers for Sanders stopped representing him in 2020 while he was an undergrad over at South Carolina, because he did not have the money to pay for it. Another little thing to note, apparently both of his parents were named in the lawsuit as well. They were dropped about 2018, though. 2019. The court dismissed them for the case because, they weren't liable. They weren't there. So Sanders is claiming that he hadn't been told anything about the case since 2020, and that he didn't even know about the filing or the loss of the case until 2023. Apparently, he lost the case in 2022, but no one informed him of that until 2023 when Darjean's lawyers were trying to collect the money for it. It's kind of crazy. Now he's filing Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Basically, he's trying to get a stay on it so that he can go and reorganize his finances, get some time to reorganize them, and also build up his finances so he won't be completely in debt for the rest of his life. He's claiming that his NIL worth was greatly overestimated, or the amount of money he had from NIL was completely and utterly overestimated. It's something to watch. I wouldn't be shocked if it gets settled out of court, but it's definitely something to watch because either we've been lied to about how much he's been worth, or he's lying about not having the money. It's definitely something interesting to watch. I'm a noted Colorado hater at this point, but this is one of those things where it's like, if Darjean's lying and he's just trying to get a good payday, I hope he doesn't get the money. and I hope it doesn't set Shiloh back for the rest of his life. It probably won't because of his dad, but nonetheless, it's something interesting to watch, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if he did it, he needs to pay for it, I think, right? But we don't know.
I mean, the question of whether he has the money or not seems like a question that could be figured out quite easily. Granted, not a lawyer. I have no law knowledge beyond the simplistic things. But I would assume they could just check his bank accounts or check transactions, whatever, via a subpoena or whatever, to figure out actually how much money he has, how much money he's bringing in, to figure out whether he's telling the truth or not. But again, I don't know bankruptcy laws. I don't know anything like that, so I don't really know. But like you said, if he did it, are the numbers inflated? Probably. Is the dude just trying to get a payday? Always a possibility. That kind of stuff runs rampant in the world, not just with college football, but with any person that has any amount of money. People try and take advantage of them. So is it a possibility? Absolutely. If he did it, should he pay for it? Yes. It's just something to watch out for. Like you said, it's out there.
So, another little thing I forgot to mention. Apparently, Sanders' lawyers, current set of lawyers, the new ones, they're claiming that Darjean and his lawyers violated some kind of agreement or something by disclosing certain bank records from like 2018 or something. So in doing so, they're trying to get the lawsuit basically dismissed. And then Darjean's lawyers are also responding, well, you violated this by doing this. I can't even remember what theirs was. It's crazy. It'll probably last It'll probably last for a bit longer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if it ends up getting settled out of court. It seems like kind of one of those things. Like once Shiloh gets signed to an NFL team, he'll probably finally have enough to be like, hey, I'll give you this much if you just let it go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, with the way that the legal system works in America, unfortunately, it gets dragged out. Any kind of lawsuit, regardless of whether you're innocent, whatever, it gets dragged out for years. Especially if you're getting sued for money. A lot of these people try and just drown you in legal fees and hope that you'll just drop it. So, or you'll just settle. So it could last for another year or two, depending on how long they want to drag it out, or they could settle. And that's the quickest, easiest way is going to be to settle. But that's not going to happen anytime soon if Shiloh's telling the truth and he doesn't have the money. It's just going to be what it is.
Moving on to another lawsuit that happened while we were away and gone. Jaden Rashada, and this one's a bit more on the lighter side for us personally. And it's just hilarious and petty and everything, right? But Jaden Rashada, former Florida commit, former Arizona State player, now current Georgia player, has filed a lawsuit against Billy Napier and the University of Florida. This is like the most college football thing ever in regards to pettiness with how some people have handled it. So the whole thing revolves around not just actually I think it was Billy Napier and one of the collectives collective members, one of the boosters for Florida. I can't remember if Florida got named in the lawsuit or not. I don't think they did, actually. But still,
No, they didn't.
Current player for the University of Georgia has a lawsuit filed against the current head coach of the University of Florida. It's pettiness and beautiful all in one. So apparently he's suing them for basically defrauding him and lying to him about how much he would get. They ended up he's claiming he was guaranteed $9.5 million over at Miami. Florida said, we'll give you $13.86 million, I think was the number.
I think that it's around that number, yeah.
Something like that. Almost $14 million. If you flip from them to us. Now, he's claiming Miami had already given him $150,000, or it's either $150,000 or $180,000. I think it was $150,000. Now, they guaranteed him that almost $14 million, plus apparently they also guaranteed his father a job at one of the dealerships of said booster, which is insanity. And this is the worst part about NIL. But still, this is news. So we have to. He's claiming Miami did give him $150,000. Ruiz, the big name booster for Miami, gave him $150,000. And so Florida paid him $150,000 to go and pay Ruiz back. That way he wouldn't get into any kind of legal trouble or anything like that. And then they basically just flat out said, okay, no, we're not going to pay you the rest. Deal's changed. We've ripped up your contract. This is your new one. And this is after Billy Napier apparently called him day of National Signing Day, said, I've got this bag of money right here for you to sign today. You will get this money today, this amount of the money today if you sign with us right now. He did. He did not get the money. There's a bunch of other stuff. Realistically, I just kind of wanted to bring this one up just to kind of laugh at Florida a bit. But
yeah, I mean,
just
it's shady, but it is what it is. I mean, if it's all true, he deserves to get the money that they offered him because, I mean, it changed the trajectory of his career.
Exactly.
But, I mean, at the same time, who knows? Again, we just talked about this. People trying to get money out of people. Who knows? Who knows what was really said? Nobody was in the room where it happened, so everybody has their own story.
Question. What fast food chain's bags do you think it was this time?
It gotta be Wendy's.
I was thinking Burger King.
You thinking Burger King, little BK?
Little BK? Who knows? Might have been some Cookout.
You can't go wrong with Cookout.
Can't go wrong there, no.
Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna have Cookout for lunch. That sounds kind of good.
Oh, that sounds like it might actually hit a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
Moving on. The next thing we got to talk about. Apparently, the NCAA is discussing the topic of setting a roster limit to 85 total players, and I don't know how to feel about this one, honestly. I really don't, because if they do this, they've openly stated if they do this, there will be no more walk-ons. How many walk-ons have we seen that have come in and changed the face of college football as we know it, right?
Yeah. I mean, if we don't have walk-ons, right? You don't have Rudy.
Mm-hmm. You don't have Brandon
You don't get those
Burlsworth.
Rudies. Yeah, you don't have those Rudy stories, those inspirational. Everybody thought I was nothing, and I came in here and I kicked butt, and I end up being one of the greatest players to play at said college.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, exactly. Baker Mayfield, Stetson Bennett. I mean, you could go on forever of walk-ons that ended up being somebody. So
Clay Matthews over at USC.
Yeah, I mean,
like people don't realize. Like I didn't even know until I saw it that he was a walk-on over there, coming from the storied family that he comes from. You know, his family is a football family. His cousin is still the starting left tackle for the Atlanta Falcons. His father was a legendary player himself. You know, his uncle was a legendary NFL player. You have a family of players like that, and he's a walk-on?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bad idea because so many kids are going to lose out on their dream, regardless of whether they're going to play in the NFL or not one day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just to live the dream of playing college football for 4 years, I mean, great. It's great for them. They get to live that dream one last time and go be a normal person in society. But who knows? Maybe it works out for them. Maybe they ball out. Maybe they do get to go to the NFL. But you're never going to find that out. You're never going to know that if you just take away walk-ons and say you get 85 scholarship players. Especially with how long the season's going to be getting with these extra rounds of the college football playoffs you're adding. I mean, players are going to get hurt. You're not going to have depth. Because walk-ons, while they may not play a lot at like a Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, some of these smaller schools, that's how they thrive. That's how they make it work, is walk-ons. And if you take that away from them, I mean, you're going to see players getting hurt left and right because they're going to have to play more often. And what are we going to do? So I think it's a bad idea, personally. That's just me.
Oh, yeah. And you're not the only one who thinks that. A bunch of coaches are coming out, and they're terribly against this idea. Mainly because of what you said about the depth. They hate the idea of not having enough depth on the team, you know, and two, I think anyone can agree. You know, you look at some of these legendary walk-ons that have happened, these moments, and who would have ever thought that Baker Mayfield, who had to walk on twice, mind you, 2 different schools, walked on both times, would go on and win a Heisman, right? Who would have ever thought that Stetson Bennett, the 4th, would win 2 national titles as a starting quarterback over at Georgia? No one. Who would have thought Brandon Burlsworth, right? Who, from what I have been told, started out incredibly out of shape, worked his tail off to get into shape, would go on to be drafted by the Indianapolis Colts. Right? I mean, you don't see a lot of these walk-ons. It's just that they're walk-ons, and they'll never realistically have a shot. But every now and then, you'll get a story, right? You'll get how many kickers have we seen go from walk-ons to campus legends because of one crucial moment? I remember last year, Clemson were so out of it at the kicking spot. They had to go and call a former walk-on who was fixing to take a job up in New York and be like, hey, you want to come kick for us? And he became the starting kicker and nailed the game winner. I mean, you don't see moments like that without walk-ons. Walk-ons make college football what it is. They're part of the story. I still believe that that ESPN's tagline for last year's college football game, or last year's season, greatest story ever played, I truly do believe that is college football as a whole every year. What's the chapter this year going to look like? and you can't have those chapters without walk-ons.
Nope. I agree.
But anyways, moving on from that, we've rambled on enough about lawsuits and walk-ons and cap limits. Time to what everyone really cares about. The college football game.
Absolutely. I believe I speak for everyone when I say I can't wait until this game comes out, because I will be unavailable for anything other than playing this video game for about the first week that it comes out.
It's just going to be, you're going to see a lot of paid time off come up out of nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a lot of businesses. There's going to be a sickness out of nowhere. Oh, there you go, boss. Sorry. I'm sick. I can't come in.
Yeah. So EA Sports put out a deep dive article. I'm going to share it on the screen real quick, and we're going to go through this. So yeah, it's their gameplay deep dive article. Start off with the pregame, and a lot of this is really exciting. With the Campus IQ, this is the three main things that they have: the All 22 Plus, 134 Ways to Play, and the Stories of Saturday. So obviously with that All 22 Plus, it highlights the importance of individual players and their abilities, and the differentiation in talent between the best and the worst in college football. If the way I look at it is, right, if the third string outside linebacker for the Carolina Panthers is probably better than at least 80% of college football players.
Yeah.
Because the worst guy on New Mexico State is more athletic than me, but is going to be a very buff car salesman in a couple of years. So I think that that's a pretty cool feature. 134 Ways to Play. Obviously, everybody's somebody's favorite team, so they've really focused on getting those playbooks and just the feeling of playing every Saturday at every different team has that special feeling, such as Air Force Triple Option or the Air Raid at USC. It's all different. It's going to feel like 134 different teams, different ways to play, different playbooks.
Wing at Kennesaw State.
Oh, God.
I'm telling you. Telling you. Like a tin horn, buddy.
Goodness. I can't wait to beat you when this game comes out.
Hey, that very first thing I'm doing, I'm gonna grab Georgia. I'm gonna do an exhibition game.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just gonna run the score up on someone. I'm just gonna do it.
Georgia Tech?
We wrecked them last night. I think I'm good right now.
Goodness. And their last pillar is Stories of Saturday, which they really focus on the emotions, the raw emotions of the athletes as they perform under pressure in hostile environments. True freshman is going to respond differently to a senior in a hostile environment or any environment. So that's really important to them. I'm telling you, that hurdle.
It's looking good.
For everybody saying that this is going to be a Madden clone,
no,
I ain't never seen that hurdle animation in Madden. Just saying.
No, they've spent, and I've heard Bud Elliott over for CBS talk about this. Right, he's talked about how they spent time up in Canada, right, building a hill during COVID. Right, they spent time up in Canada building a hill so that they could go and capture the motion animation for running down the hill for Clemson during their entrance. They built a fake horse for to basically play Renegade for I can't remember Florida State's main mascot's name. And I'm not going to try to butcher it because the last thing I need to be called is
racist.
Yeah.
Oops.
So yeah, I'm not going to butcher the name, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, they've put in a lot of effort into this game, so it's got me super excited.
Yeah. It was supposed to come out last year, right?
Yeah, they pushed it back, which I'm glad they did, because they've got a lot of cool stuff in here.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
The wear and tear feature, which I believe can be turned off. I believe I read somewhere you don't have to have this on if you don't want to deal with it. But I think it'll be really cool if you're playing a Dynasty to have that realism and strategy to your gameplay.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, each body part, if we go down here, has a slight, high, or severe chance of injury. So with every hit they take, something gets hurt, something gets worse. So basically, you have to spread out. On offense, you can't just keep throwing to your star wide receiver every play, because he's going to get banged up, he's going to get hurt, he's going to lose attributes, and there are different attributes tied to each body part. So with legs, you may lose change of direction or agility. With your arms, you may lose catching if you're a wide receiver, a tight end, or throw power or accuracy if you're a quarterback. So, I think that for Dynasty, and for me, liking to have a realistic Dynasty, to have to manage how often my players are playing, and I can't have a running back and hand it off to him 40 times a game, or else he's going to be dead, because this doesn't just go away after the game. This is over a season.
Yeah.
They will recoup a little bit in between games, but if you get him, your running back, to a severe leg, the next game he may not be 100%. So you got to manage that. Maybe pull him out a little bit earlier against a, New Mexico State, if you're playing against New Mexico State, so he's fresher later in the season against your bigger opponents. So that's going to be pretty cool for me anyways. I'm excited about that. But like I said, you can turn it off, I believe. I read that somewhere.
It's definitely an interesting new feature they've done. Speaking of the wear and tear, did you see where that kid from Texas State found out about his overall being a 55 because of having to come in and replace someone in the game?
Yeah.
And he's just like, really? He adds them and everything. He's just like, really? 55?
I mean, let's be honest, brother. You're the backup at Texas State, okay? Let's be honest. Is 55 really low? Yes, 55 is very low. And these ratings aren't final.
But to be fair, I'm probably like a 25 overall. So, I mean, there's still a huge gap between him and me.
Right. So, I mean, It's a video game.
You're in the game, dude. At least you're in the game.
Yeah, I mean, would you expect to be like an 85, 90 overall as a backup offensive lineman at Texas State?
I think he was at least hoping for a 60.
Ball out this year, brother. They're putting out roster updates, so maybe you'll get up there to 60 if you get any playing time as the second string offensive lineman at Texas State.
Poor dude.
Goodness. Yeah. Here you go, Hunter. The option game.
Yeah.
Which, I love this. I love that they've changed this a little bit about it. Obviously, if anybody's played Madden or the older NCAA games, if you're doing a read option or anything with a read, you had to hold the button to hand off. You'd snap the ball and you had to hold it to hand off, or if you didn't hit anything, the quarterback kept it. But in real life, anybody with any football knowledge, the read is always hand the ball off first, and if that read crashes on your running back, then you pull it. So now, with the way they've changed it, if you just click the button, it will be a handoff to the running back. You have to hold the button for your quarterback to keep it.
Okay,
which I feel like
so
makes it easier.
What happens if you don't press a button at all?
Oh, you gotta snap it. If you just snap it, it hands it off to the running back.
Okay. That's what you meant by just click the button.
Then, yeah. If you just snap it, it hands it off to the running back. It's an inside zone.
Well, that's going to be...
If you hold it, it'll pull it, and your quarterback can run the ball.
That's going to take a minute or two to get used to, but once you get used to it...
I feel like it'll make it easier to read.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if they'll go and change that in Madden now, or if that will...
I'm hoping they'll add a lot of this stuff to Madden, like the wear and tear. I think could be really good in Madden.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a quality of life thing. A lot of this stuff I feel like they could add into Madden. The new passing meter, which we'll get to here in a minute.
Yep.
They should add it to Madden because I think it's going to be legit. And they've added 2 new pitch types.
Oh.
They've added 2 pitch types, so you can just click the pitch button, and it's a quick pitch. It may not be as accurate. You may not hit your running back or your pitch man in stride, but it'll get it out quick if you need to get it out quickly. Or you can hold down the pitch button, and it'll be a strong pitch, which means that there will be, it's a stronger pitch. It's going to go further distance and be more accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Yes? Mm-hmm. We can't get select ribeyes anymore. They won't let us order them anymore.
Tell Tori I said hi.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know whenever he asked me, but I asked him about it, and he said we can't get them anymore. I thought we could because it was in the order guide, but we can't get them anymore. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. So we didn't get any in today either. Did we at least get grinds in? We didn't get any 85? I can't win. Okay. I bet. I got you.
Tell her I said hi.
She already hung up.
Oh. Well, damn, Tori. Fucking hater.
I just looked over and I saw Tori Broccoli.
What? Who lost a hand?
What could this possibly be about?
Damn it, Tony, you were a few months from retirement.
Yeah, I was like, great, what could this possibly be about?
Just want to restart the pitches?
Yeah. And they've also added 2 new pitch types in here. So if you just click your pitch button, it'll be a quick pitch to your pitch man. It may not be accurate. It may not hit him. It'll be accurate. It won't hit him in stride necessarily. It could, but it may not. But if you need to get it out quick, that option's there. Or if you hold down the pitch button, it'll be a strong pitch, which means that, you can kind of bullet it over there. It'll be a little bit more more velocity, more precise accuracy. But it's going to take longer to get the ball out. So you just got to use that strategically. And you can also fake pitch, which I believe is new. I don't think you were able to do that before. By double tapping the pitch button, you can fake the pitch to fake out a defensive player and then keep the ball with your quarterback. I don't remember it ever being a thing. But
I want to say it might have been. At one point, I think they might have added that in 14 for the last game. Maybe. I can't remember off the top of my head if that was... I want to say that was real, though.
Yeah.
I could be thinking Madden, though, so... Who knows?
Yeah, I don't remember. But they've also added some new pitch out of tackle animations. So as you're being tackled, they've added animations for you to be able to pitch out of that. So that's cool.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Honestly, last desperation hope.
Yeah. So there are abilities in this game, but
what
it's
was that thing
not
about shells?
I don't remember. I didn't remember it being important when I looked at it earlier. Football parallel solutions removal. Oh, so they've removed base alignment.
Okay. Oh, that's coverage.
They gave people the abilities to disguise your coverages.
Oh, dude, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, so in play call, using the right stick while in formation view to command your secondary into position and range of cunningly disguised looks. It can range from a high pressure cover 0 blitz to a backed off cover 4 look. You can disguise your coverage from the play call screen. So you can be calling a cover 2, but then have it look like a cover 0 blitz.
That's cool as crap because how many times have we seen Kirby Smart or Nick Saban or another defensive-minded coach have that happen? How many times has that happened nowadays since 2014? That's something that's really come on strong over the last few years. So that's cool as crap to see, actually.
Yeah, also before the snap, you have the option to showcase a single high or 2 high, depending on the formation you've chosen. So you can choose to show single high safety and then maybe have another guy drop back into that 2 high or show 2 high and you're only in single high. So that's cool. It says unleash your creativity with these options, just like real life coaches, to confuse opposing quarterbacks. But tread with caution. If a defensive back has low composure, there's a risk he might mess up the disguised look. So, composure, again, a big thing. If your guy's having a bad game or whatever, he may mess up the disguise and give away what you're trying to do. So,
okay, that's cool as crap, man. Like that's look. Some people won't understand that. They'll just be like, oh, well, that's a cute little thing you can do now. No, that's cool as crap, man. Being able to disguise coverages and all that, and have it to where like a player could end up accidentally screwing up and revealing what they're actually going to do if they don't have the right composure for it. Oh my gosh, that's cool as crap, man. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Back to abilities. It's not like the X Factor abilities in Madden. None of these abilities are guarantees. So in Madden, if you know the ability Double Me, that X Factor ability where no matter what, if my wide receiver is not double covered, he's catching the ball if I aggressive catch it. It's not like these. Like if you look at this highlighted Workhorse, which is a physical ability. They have physical and mental abilities, by the way. If you have, and there's 4 tiers, bronze, silver, gold, platinum. So with bronze, you have slight protection from wear and tear effects when colliding with other players. Whereas platinum is ultimate protection from wear and tear effects when colliding with other players. And these are not always on. Some of these, you really have to control your down and distance. So like this top one, Field General, which is a quarterback mental ability. On Platinum, he can identify blitzers, covered shells, and disguise covered shells pre-snap. Ooh. But if you're, off schedule and you're in the 3rd and 15, that's off. It won't work. You have to stay ahead of schedule. You can't be in 3rd and long and get that advantage still. Because it goes in that composure thing. If you're in 3rd and long, it's not easy to convert a 3rd and 15. So you gotta kind of stay ahead of schedule. It's better than Madden in that sense. If you have to stay ahead of schedule, you have to be doing well for the abilities to be working.
3rd and short, more than likely, would be the best scenario for that one to kick in.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but I also know another one which we'll talk a little bit more about it later. But another one of the mental things is 95 for Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
91, 92, maybe? I don't know about 95. Anyways, I know one of the, and like I said, we'll talk more about this later, but one of the mental abilities that I do that you immediately know about is headstrong, and how that affects at an away field, right? So an away game, I should say. So how quarterbacks handle an away game, which, like I said, we'll talk more about that later. But yeah,
yeah. I mean, you said
enough
each player, which this is what differentiates. And I've preached about this. I've told you about this. What I've always hated about the older games is there is no reason for me not to start a true freshman over my senior quarterback if his overall's better or close, if I like some of his stats better. With this is how they changed that. You have each player can have a max of 3 mental abilities and 5 physical abilities.
Okay.
Your mental abilities, if we look in this first picture, fan favorite, which is increased composure gains at home. Best friend, which quarterback composure gain on first down catches, clear-headed, protection from composure losses. It's all composure and hot, cold, that kind of stuff. Whereas your physicals are going to be like short hands, it's improved standard catches, 50-50, improved jump ball ability, double dip, improved double move routes. So, like, it's going to differentiate that if I'm playing, a game in Tuscaloosa per se at Georgia, it's going to be the reason that I start Carson Beck, who's got that headstrong ability, who's going to play better and not get as confused rattled on the road, not as rattled on the road, than if I start the true freshman Ryan Puglisi, who's never played a big game before at this point in the game. So it gives you that reasons of you better, if you're going to start a true freshman, you better be sure that he's ready, and you better play good and start off quick. Otherwise, you're going to get behind. It's going to be really hard for them to get in it and get back into it if you get out of it.
Yeah, no, that was actually a really great add-on they've done compared to like past iterations. Because I mean, it's a lot more realistic because of that, right? And the fact that these abilities aren't kicking in every single play at every single moment, like the field general one that you were talking about. Like if you're at 3rd and 15, yeah, it's going to be a lot harder because you're more frantic, you're more worried about all this stuff in a real life game. So of course you might not be able to go and diagnose the coverage immediately. And this is amazing, and it's so cool. So cool. Ah, love it.
Yeah. Let's see. Pre-snap recognition. Can you see everything at the line of scrimmage like an experienced senior? What about the freshman playing on the road in front of 1,000 screaming fans? Kind of what we were talking about. Pre-snap recognition feature designed to bring a level of clarity to the line of scrimmage that reflects the experience level of the player controlling the game. For instance, a freshman player may not be able to identify who's coming to blitz or what the shell is at the line of scrimmage compared to what a seasoned senior would recognize. Our new system also takes into account player and coach abilities, home field advantage, and our new coverage shells, which I will talk about later, all of which impact what a player can see at the line of scrimmage. What ability do I need? So the field general ability is what brings us all together, which we talked about earlier, but see, in that pre-snap with Quinn Ewers, who has it platinum, he can see those blitzers coming, which means he knows he's got to get the ball out quick. So you look out for that dump out route on 4th and 2. So like it makes the best players in the game feel like the best players in the game. They're going to be able to look at a situation and see what's happening.
Dude, I keep stating it. I cannot wait. We're a month and a half out from this dropping.
Yeah,
I'm ready, dude.
Oh, me too.
I'm ready.
Me too. So we've talked about this a little bit already, but the confidence and composure, it's moment-to-moment gameplay, right? Real-life ups and downs. Players can get hot or cold, obviously depending on the outcome of each play. So basically a freshman player will have more swings to it, right? They have a really good play, maybe they get really hot. Then they have a bad play and they may get super cold. Whereas a seasoned senior, a guy that's been playing for a long time, he's going to be more neutral, and he's not going to get as hot as quickly necessarily, but he's not going to get as cold as quickly either. He's going to be very neutral in that, which I like. The realism of a dude that's been in college football for 3 or 4 years at this point versus a dude who's playing his first game ever.
Yeah.
So as the crowd level increases, the effects on players' confidence increase progressively. Composure, all that. So basically, in the heated atmosphere of a rivalry game like the game, the stakes of maintaining composure are even higher. Events such as scoring touchdowns can lift the morale of your entire team, while individual achievements such as a pass breakup can significantly boost the composure of the player who made the big play. So basically, something you have to worry about. Confidence, composure, it's going to affect your abilities. It's going to affect how rattled they get. It's going to be fun. I'm excited for this.
It really is.
Yeah, see, the mental abilities are lost anytime a player goes cold, making the management of confidence and composure even more essential. So you really got to worry about that. Coach vision.
Got to worry about a player's rhythm.
Yeah. Coach vision. This year since they've added that wear and tear from your right trigger, you can see your wear and tear, your matchups, your composure and confidence, and your blocking schemes. I know you're an offensive line guy. They don't show a picture of it in here, but you can actually see what the blocking assignments are for your offensive linemen. So you can see if you got a guy uncovered, and you can try and account for that. If you got an unblocked guy.
Beautiful.
You can actually do that.
The only thing that could make this game better is if in Road to Glory you could be an O lineman or a kicker.
If only. Maybe next year.
If only. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. But yeah, and you can also see your abilities. What abilities everybody has active.
Smart.
And you can also still... You can check, by D-line. You can check the other team or your team, what's active where. And the matchups. It's not new. They've reworked the formula to make this easily accessible and straightforward for you. It's now color-coded for ease of understanding. Green for a favorable matchup, yellow for an even one, and red for a disadvantage. So if I got a wide receiver versus a new corner in the game or whatever, I can check and see, is this a favorable matchup for me to maybe toss one up and see if he can catch it?
Yeah.
See if he can get it on maybe a first down early in the game. Let's just see if we can get a big play. You can see. Home field advantage. They've brought back the stadium pulse meter from NCAA 06. I love that pulse meter.
Yes.
Which they've made home field advantage really matter in this game. You'll have your screen shaking really bad if you're on in a really raucous environment.
If you're Tennessee at Georgia, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Fight me. I will. Anyways.
But yeah. As the game situations get tougher, the noise gets louder. From the people that actually went and played the game, what I've listened to, they've said the audio in the game actually does get really loud, depending on the situation in the game.
I love it.
So it's going to be exciting. It's going to feel like if you're taking, like in this clip, Michigan into Happy Valley in a whiteout game, it's going to feel hard. It's going to feel like it's going to be hard. Now, if you can get ahead of it and quiet the crowd down, it won't be too bad if you can go in there and just and go for it. It's not like they'll stay loud all game if you're killing them.
Yeah.
But it puts that emphasis on, I got to start quick. I can't get behind. So if I get behind, the crowd's going to get louder, and it's going to be harder and harder and harder for me to get back in this game if I don't get out ahead of this.
Yeah, it's and we were talking about it earlier. They have the stadiums ranked, right?
Yep.
And
right up here.
Earlier, I was asking you, like, I didn't know if Georgia, because they showed Tennessee at Georgia and all that, and they had Georgia ranked 3. I was like, is that just based on how loud it's getting? Oh, now they're like the roughest environment, or like one of the roughest environments, or is it based on, is that their solid number for like that season, and then it can alternate? And you were telling me that it's based how they are ranked right now, but like in like Dynasty, they can shift and move depending on how like big of a win streak you have at home. So if you go undefeated in Dynasty for like a decade at home, it could become the number one place, the toughest place to play.
Right.
Which is insane and awesome, and I'm loving every bit of this. Like I'm happy. I'm happy, and that's all that matters right now.
Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. For you guys that have played Madden for for the last couple of years, you've had to have a special ability to get access to all of the hot routes for your wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
No more.
Oh.
You have access to every single hot route, to 12 unique routes. For instance, the new Bang 8 route has been incorporated into your outside wide receiver tree, so you have the full ability to do that.
I've also heard you can extend the routes and shorten them if needed.
Yes, it is somewhere. It's in here somewhere. But yes, you can adjust a route using your left stick. You can right here. There it is at the bottom.
Make it a deep hitch instead of a short hitch. You know.
Right, like see custom stems. It allows you to adjust the distance of receiver routes while hot routing. Press and hold the button, move the left stick to modify distance by a single yard, or the D-pad for alterations in 5-yard increments. You can also see the route update in real time. Simply release the button to confirm your settings, and you're all set. So, say you got 8 yards to go to a first down, and you got a 15-yard hitch for whatever reason. You can bump that down to right at the line, a couple yards before the line, whatever, to have that route break where you need it to break.
Mm-hmm.
For you to be able to get the play you're wanting to do, which is really nice. And thank goodness they've done this. Defensively, they've changed the way that run commit works. Used to be if you run committed on a play and they passed the ball, you were conceding a touchdown.
Yeah.
If you run committed and they were passing it, everybody on the field just ran to the line. Safeties, corners, everybody.
Yeah.
Now, if you run commit, it only affects defenders positioned in the box. So your linebackers, your defensive linemen, your safeties and corners aren't just going to run and let the wide receivers run past them.
Yeah, that's a lot more realistic. That is a lot more realistic.
You still may give up a little short play or whatever because your linebackers may run commit and they're going to come in and crash the box.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to be giving up a bomb of a touchdown because at least your safeties and corners will still be back there.
Yeah.
So
unless you got one of the safeties inside the box.
Right. Right. This, I don't know if I love it or hate it. Again, from what I've read, you can turn it back to classic passing, what you're used to from the old NCAA games or Madden from a couple years ago. But basically, the way they've made this is to make throw power. Typically, throw power, if you've played college football video games or any football video games, is how far you can throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But in this game, it's not exactly how it works. It does play into it, but it's also how fast you can throw the ball.
Ah.
So with this meter, it's got a blue, yellow, and red area. Blue is it's going to be an accurate pass. Yellow, there's a chance it's inaccurate. Red, you don't know what's going to happen. But the closer you can get that to that yellow, the harder you're going to throw it. So it's still the same process. Hold it for a bullet pass, tap it for a lob pass, hold and release for a touch pass. It just gives you a visual of how hard you're throwing it. But if you can get that in that blue really close to that yellow, you're going to throw a bullet pass in. If you guys got high throw power, you're going to be able to fit that in a tighter windows than if you guys got a noodle arm, per se. Yeah. So that's going to be it's going to be interesting to get used to because it's not my thing. But
we'll
I'm
see.
at least going to give it a try.
Yeah, you got to at least give it a try. Typically, things like this do work out pretty well, though. especially for like the online competitive community, which
Yeah.
you're going to see a lot of. So I wouldn't be shocked if it ends up playing out really well. If I don't like it, I'll probably stick with the classic stuff, but that's just me.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll give it a try. Maybe I love it, but worst case scenario, I can switch it back to classic.
I mean, I'll try anything once,
Oh yeah.
This might be 3 or 4 games. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, let's see. Throw power doesn't simply refer to the distance of the throw, but how hard you can throw it. You often hear color commentators discussing a quarterback's arm strength in the context of 10 to 15-yard bullets on a hook and dig routes rather than a 60-yard throw. So basically, they've made that throw power mean how hard can you throw it? Can you get it there on that 15-yard hook or a dig and bullet it to him? There's not a whole lot of air underneath it. That's where throw power comes into it.
Yeah, and that's real life right there about like, okay, how quick can you get it to someone and all that. I mean, you heard that all the time, except for when it came to Joe Milton and oh my gosh, Florida's quarterback who got drafted in the first round a year or two ago.
Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Rich. I knew it was Anthony. I didn't want to go and say his last name.
He was an athletic freak.
Yeah, no, and that's it with both of them. They've got all this arm strength, all this arm power. Anthony Richardson, I think, can turn into something. I'm not as impressed with Joe Milton, though.
I agree.
Yeah, because he's just, oh my gosh, he threw it like 70, 80 yards, flat-footed, without any kind of build-up. And it's like, okay, yeah, great, he can throw it like that. He just can't perform in game.
Right.
Has performance issues, buddy.
Right. This is going to be cool for all you crazy people that don't use the defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Or even if you do use the defensive line, this will be nice with the switch stick. So basically, you can just flick the right stick back towards whichever guy you're wanting to switch to. And you can switch to him. So like you see in this, if you're using this guy, you see this guy's breaking open, you can flick your right stick back to him and then jump that route. And you can get there quicker than if you had to wait until the ball's thrown. You're trying to press B or circle to try and switch over to somebody, and it's taking too long, and then you miss out on it. And then it's a big route that you saw that you couldn't switch over. So you can switch stick, boom, and jump routes. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. Playbooks we've kind of already talked about, but each team has their own playbook, along with 10 non-team playbooks, such as air raid, multiple, pistol, power spread, option, pro, run and shoot, spread option, and the veer and shoot.
Yeah.
So that's fine. They have added some new trick plays called the DIY reverse. Basically, you decide whether to hand off the reverse or not.
Ah. Okay.
It's not a guaranteed you snap the ball in reverse. You read the defense and choose whether to hand that off. And they also have the halfback direct DIY reverse. So basically, you choose whether you're reversing it or not. You can just kind of run it out there and keep it if the defense is biting on the reverse, or if they're not, you can hand it off and let it and reverse it. So that's going to be fun. They've also added some new trick plays, or we're going to see some other trick plays. The double pass, a reverse pass, and a reverse flea flicker. Interesting.
Yeah.
A note to consider is that when running any given trick plays, the defense will adapt, making these play callers a much riskier proposition. So you can't just run it all the time. It's one of those, just like in real life, you don't see trick plays against New Mexico State when you're up 40.
Yeah.
You save that until the SEC championship or a college football playoff game.
Unless you're a prick.
You need something, unless you're a prick. So eventually defenses will adapt to that. So you can't just use it in the first quarter,
Oh, that's amazing.
just because. And then try and use it later in the game. They're not going to bite on it in the fourth quarter when you need it. Because you used it earlier in the game and they know now. Yeah. They've seen it. So
now they're prepped for it. They're like, okay, we know about this one now. Okay.
yeah. Also, when it comes to attention to detail, we didn't stop there. You will see the popular wide formation splits from teams such as Oklahoma and Tennessee, which are spread out further than traditional formations, a characteristic of the veer and shoot playstyle. So obviously, as you can see, they're spread out much further. They use the whole field like Tennessee and Oklahoma do. That's fun. And the flex bone option offense is also introduced, featuring base plays such as triple option, midline, rocket, toss, counter option, and the zone dive. Yeah, I knew you'd be excited about that.
Like a tin horn, buddy. I'm ready for it, man. I am so ready for this.
You are way excited. Goodness.
Buddy.
On the defensive side of the ball, the playbooks that are assigned to teams include the 3-2-6, 3-4, 3-4 multiple, 3-3-5, 3-3-5 tight, 4-2-5, 4-3, 4-3 multiple, and multiple. Exciting. Lots of defensive options. Never heard of a 3-2-6, but it's there. Somebody runs it apparently because it's in the game.
Yeah. I'm surprised, which I shouldn't be surprised. It was still very much relevant while Mike Leach was still alive. Rest in peace, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Let me rephrase that. Rest in peace, Leacher. I hate that Leach, which you'll have variations of his offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I hate that his offense, his exact offense, will not be in this game. Which sucks, but is what it is. Lincoln Riley is Mike Leach disciple, so I think you'll see a lot of Leach's blueprints for USC, But I know that typically that was his defensive style, was a 3-3-5, 3-3 stack, as some people call it, depending on how you got the linebackers lined up. It's kind of gone a bit outdated nowadays, but it used to be a pretty good, solid defense.
Yeah. I mean, Kirby Smart usually runs that 4-2-5. In that, I mean, it's not technically a 4-2-5. It's because
it's technically a 3-4.
Technically a 3-4, but they usually have the two middle linebackers, and you have your star, your two safeties, and your two corners. Yeah. So he kind of runs that 4-2-5. It's a kind of a hybrid between the 4-2-5 and a 3-4.
Defensive genius that he is.
Yeah.
Him, Saban, Schumann.
It's going to be fun. I remember in the old NCAA games, I always ran a 4-2-5. Because I couldn't stop passing to save my life. I could stop the run, I could not stop the pass to save my life. So I ran a 4-2-5. And it never worked. Because, of course. This is going to be fun, though. The tempo game is something I'm super excited about, and I was telling you about it earlier.
Yeah.
So there is your traditional no huddle where you hold Y or triangle, and your players will rush back to the line. There's no huddle, but you can still audible plays, hot routes, stuff like that. They've added turbo, kind of a throwback to those old turbo tempo Oregon teams, the blur offense.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a rapid rush to the line, activated by pressing square or X post play. You're essentially trading the ability to hot route and audible at the line of scrimmage for the advantage of the defense not being set. So basically, you get up to the line quicker. You can't audible, so you got to make sure your play call's right. You can't audible or hot route. But if you snap the ball quickly enough, you can catch the defense off guard. They may not be set. They may be slower off the ball.
Goal line fade.
Yeah. I think that's going to be super fun. If you wanted to find this as your play style, you can turn it on in your settings and coach adjustments. So basically, you can have it set to where just by default, if you're trying to run a turbo offense, whatever, you want to be super quick or a no-huddle offense, you can have that just to be set. After a play, you got your guys rush to the line. That can just be, you can build your offense around that. And AI teams now have distinctive identities in tempo usage. So like Oklahoma is going to have a super up-tempo strategy for most of the game, possibly calling shot plays after securing a first down, blah, 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 blah. Michigan, though, may only resort to this move following a significant play to jumpstart the offense while losing. So, like, you're not going to see Michigan, Georgia necessarily running out there up-tempo all game. They're going to take it slow, take time off the clock, and just play their game, unless they're behind and they have to. Then you'll see them start playing a little bit quicker. But like your Oklahomas, your Tennessees, your USCs, you're going to see them being a little bit more up-tempo and running up to the line and trying to keep you on your toes and not give you a whole lot of time to rest. So that'll be fun. It's not going to feel like I'm playing the same team every game.
Mm-hmm.
I want to feel like a different game when I'm playing against Oklahoma versus when I'm playing against
Michigan.
Yeah. I don't want Michigan to feel like the same team, like strategy-wise. I know it's a different team, overall-wise, and just the way that they'll play, but the actual strategies are going to be different. That's going to be great. If you've played NCAA 14, it was the most annoying thing ever. They've finally fixed AI decision-making regarding timeout usage. Please. It'll mirror the strategic decision-making of real-life coaches. Both players and AI can now initiate a spike from any alignment, therefore conserving crucial seconds. Thank God. I don't know how many times I'd be playing a game on NCAA 14. And they will call hurry up, take like 15 seconds off the clock, then call a timeout. Or not call a timeout at all whenever they're in field goal range. I'm only up by 2. They're in field goal range. 5 seconds left on the clock. They have a timeout. They just don't call it. Instead, they go no huddle. The clock runs out and they lose the game. Even though they were in field goal range and like close field goal range to try and win it. So like, as much as I like winning, I'd rather the AI not hand me easy wins whenever I should have lost. So,
fair.
I'll take it. Real-time coaching, basically it helps the AI's coaching strategy. Again, that strategy. You'll notice the CPU tweaking their defensive line if you're dominating a team with inside zone out of 11 personnel. You'll see them tweaking that and maybe changing up the defensive line, making adjustments like you can with your defensive line, maybe pinching them or spreading them out or whatever to try and stop that. You'll also see, if you're having significant success on the ground, teams loading the box earlier than others. You'll see QB contains, showing blitz, run commits, spies. You'll see all that from the AI, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
The AI is designed to be aware of your player's ratings and abilities. So if you have an elite wide receiver, some teams might double him from the jump or match him with their top corner. So basically, they're going to match up your best with their best. Mm-hmm. You're not going to have any more where you can line up your best receiver against their second corner, and the game doesn't know any better than to change it.
Yeah, so
because this corner always plays here.
It's going to force, like Kamari, take last year for example. Kamari Lassiter is going to get forced on Luther Burden.
Yes. No matter what,
makes sense.
They're gonna no matter what formation you put them in, they're going to try and put their best corner on your best guy. Whether you move him to the slot or outside or whatever. They're going to try and put their best on best.
It's going to be amazing. Ooh, in the trenches.
If your offensive line can't hold up, nothing else matters. What true game records look like. This is more of the game than just sacking the quarterback. So basically, they've improved blocking techniques and pass protection, targeting schemes for the offensive linemen on AI, new animations, more pass rushing and run stopping abilities have been upgraded. So that's nice. They've made the weather actually matter. So if it's a rainy game, you're going to see more fumbles. You're going to see your quarterback throw some wobbly passes.
No grip?
Yeah, exactly. If it's snowy or raining, you're going to see more fumbles. It's going to be harder. That's going to be harder for them to plant and cut, which is awesome. It's going to make base wrap and dive tackling more challenging too, because jerseys are wet or cold or whatever, and it's going to be harder for them to tackle. It also impacts special teams. Oh, we love special teams here.
Love them.
Yeah, you'll feel hits to your kick power and accuracy, kicking the ball in heavy rain or snow. Can drastically alter its trajectory and distance, making field goals and punts a challenging task. The little things. They added new 1 foot sideline catch animations. Ooh, they've brought back the walk to the line animations, so you're no longer going to just call your play and you're at the line. You're going to see them walk up to the line. Oh. You'll see the ref spotting the ball. They've made defensive pursuit mean more on how well the defensive backs or defensive players will track to the ball carrier in space. Playmaker ability, which means your wide receiver, you can flick with your right stick or whatever on a pass play and make them run a different, if they're just standing there, you can motion them back towards the middle of the field or towards the edge or up the field or something.
Baby.
Oh, this right here, play action. When play action is called in run situations such as first downs or less than 3 yards to the first down, the effects on run-fit defenders are now amplified. Please.
Love me good play action.
The amount of times I've played Madden and I'm, 1st and 10, I've been run the ball good, I call play action, and nothing happens. The defenders aren't faked out about it at all, like nothing. They just immediately know it's not a run.
Yeah, that's the worst, man.
The new kicking meter. So this is going to move back and forth. You got to stop the ball in the middle, or try to stop the ball in the middle, then hold the button until the arrow fills up, and then let go of the button. That's how that new kicking meter works.
Okay, so it's not press. It's press, hold until you
release.
Okay, that's yeah, that should be fine. You know who doesn't know how to work that though?
Who?
Noah Ruggles.
Wow.
What can I say?
They added 20 new different touchdown celebrations, 4 interception celebrations. That's all celebration stuff, and how that works. Victory formation on a pivotal run on 3rd or 4th and short, and the opposing team is out of timeouts. Our running backs get just enough to sell the game as long as football games have existed. After this game-clinching moment, you've had to sit in the center for 30-plus seconds just to take 3 consecutive kneel downs. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm happy to say those days are over. This year, as soon as the game is mathematically over, just take a knee. The players will come onto the field, and we will simulate the following kneel downs. Not only does this feel like Saturday, but can also get back into your next game whenever that may be, wherever that may be. Thank God. If it's math, if I'm up by 40 and I'm taking a knee, there's no reason for them to call a timeout.
Yeah,
there's a minute left in the game and they got 3 timeouts left and I'm up by 40. There's no reason that they call all 3 timeouts. It's over. Even if you got the ball back, you're not winning in a minute.
Yeah, no.
Why are you calling timeouts? I'm trying to end the game. So I have to sit there and take 3 knees before the game's over. So that'll be nice.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah. It's looking amazing, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Like I said, there's not much else to say. We've spent almost an hour talking about it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's a deep dive and you got to dive into this. It's just, we're ready for it. College football fans as a whole are ready for it. This is something that even if you don't typically like video games, but you're a college football fan, you're willing to go and set aside and do I actually want to get a console so I can play this? Mm-hmm. You know? Because this is awesome.
Yeah.
one thing they more than likely do not have this, right? But something I would love to see them start adding, maybe in a year or two, is like reliving moments in college
Mm-hmm.
football history, right? So I know back in NCAA 13, they did a thing where you could go and take former Heisman winners and put them on whichever team you wanted and go and basically redo their career at a different school or at the same school, depending.
Right.
But I would love it if something that some of the baseball games do is they'll put you in like this legendary moment, or this not even legendary moment, but these big moments that certain players have had throughout their careers, and let you redo them and attempt to go and redo it, you know? So, like, let's say a pitcher did a perfect game, it'll put you in the moment for the last 9 outs. Oh, hey, you have to go and get this many strikeouts and this many flyouts, and you can't let a person reach base, right? So something like that, but oh, hey, you're down 14 with 4 minutes left in the game. See if you can go and redo this, you know?
Right.
Or you could also add on a little, let's change history. You know, what would have happened had this happened instead, right?
Right.
Like, one of the big moments is if Pat McAfee had, and this is not a shot at him, right? But had he made a kick during the 2007 season, West Virginia would have gone on to play in the national championship game, right? What happens if, like, how different is history if that happens, right?
Right.
You might have a player, instead of them going and committing to LSU or Ohio State, they could have ended up committing to West Virginia instead. Or they could have ended up committing to a completely and utterly different school from those three. Because a different school would have stayed as the leader because, oh, well, they came up short in the national championship hunt.
Right.
You know, it would be cool to see something like that. Maybe not go that in deep, but like, hey, here's a chance to relive this moment or change history, right?
Right.
So I think that would be kind of cool. I also think it would be kind of cool if they were. I know Madden 08 did this thing where you could go and play as historical teams. I don't expect that one to happen for a long time, if ever, but that would be cool as crap. If you could go and do like a historical team, or at least like an all-time team, like have flipping Matthew Stafford throwing to Todd Gurley, dumping it off to Todd Gurley, or throwing it over to Arian Smith, George Pickens, or Brock Bowers. You know, it's or let's say Pat White throwing it to who was that big time wide receiver West Virginia had for a while there? White kid. Can't remember. Anyways,
I don't know.
But just like things like that would be cool as crap to see.
Yeah.
But alas, I think that's all time we got for today. Thanks guys for watching. You got anything you want to say, Bonner, before we go?
Nope, I'm good.
I got something I want to say.
Go for it.
To hell with tech. Very simple. Very simple. Anyways. Thanks guys for watching. Remember, hit that like button, subscribe, all that. Hit the bell for notifications. And remember, anything can happen on any given day. We'll catch y'all next time.